Hello everyone and welcome to a new casted game on AOE. For today we are going to look at a very exciting game. We are in a very cool tournament. This tournament is called the EGC Masters Winter. Don't hesitate to go and watch EGCTV because they make very cool tournaments on AOE 4 that gather, well, the best players of this game, and this is very cool. This is the qualifications, so the player are trying to qualify for the main event. And here we have very good players, two very good players that are facing each other, two French players. So I'm very happy to cast this game because I'm a French content creator, but I'm also trying to do some stuff in English, and this is very cool. Here we have Elyona, who's playing the Chinese in the blue color, and we have Dicynator, the French with the color purple. And let's go for this cast. I'm really happy to cast it. Really looking forward to for what will happen in this game. And yeah, this is Highlandale, sorry. I was gonna say hide and seek. This is not the right word. Sorry, sometimes my English is not very good. As I said, I'm a French guy, so sometimes I will say stupid stuff. I will lack of vocabulary. This will be very funny sometimes. But I'm trying to improve, of course. Okay, so Highlandale is very interesting because we have a lot of mountains. We can protect ourselves. And we have two main situations on this map. The first one is to have a civilization where you can turtle, well, you can do a lot of economy at home, and you don't really want to go out on the map. The second one is a civilization that attacks the opponent, puts pressure, and take the control of the map and stops the enemy from taking the control of the map. And then they are just in their base and they only have one gold, and well, of course it will go out somehow at one point. And at this moment it can be very difficult for the person that is defending. So yeah, this is the two main, I think, way to play this map. We also have the Pro Scout, of course, which is very played right now, and I think we will see this in this game because we have a Chinese and a French, and the Chinese are I think this is the best civilization to do the Pro Scout. The French are quite good also with that because the technology is cheaper, but with the Chinese the technology is also cheaper. You're gonna say no, you're saying stupid stuff. This is 75 and 275 as all the civilizations. Yeah, but we are Chinese, and when we do a technology, we have a little bit of a tax with the cost of the technology. So here we will have a lot of gold in taxes while we are making the professional scouts. So the technology costs less, of course, because you have the money back. It's as the Byzantine farms, for example. When you do a Byzantine farm, it costs you 75 of wood, but you have 8 of stone. So you have a payback of what you've made. So this is very interesting and very cool. And moreover, on the Chinese, this is very cool. You have very good timing on H2, as you can see here. While the French is only going H2, the Chinese was H2 like 20 seconds ago, maybe 30 seconds. And what is very interesting is also the Imperial Official that will boost your mill, and then you can do the technology 150% faster. This is a lot. This is very insane. But I feel like that's not what Elyona is gonna do right now. He's not making this technology. Or maybe he's saving for that. Yeah, I think he's saving for this technology. And what is... yeah, he's building a stable. He will do the scouts just after that. And yeah, all of this is very cool with the Chinese to take all the deers. And the last thing that is very interesting with the Chinese, with the Pro Scout, is that you can put all the deers under your mill, and the mill will be boosted by your Imperial Official. He can supervise it, and you can have 20% more resources gathered from your deers. This is insane. This is very strong. And here With the French, we don't have the Pro Scout. We have the Royal Knights that are coming, that are gonna destroy the economy of Elyona, or at least to put pressure. And we have then the answer of Elyona, the barracks, in order to put spearmen into the army composition to counter those knights. And we have 2 scouts, a third one that is coming, and they are gonna put all the deers here under the mill, as I said before, not under the TC. This is important, because if you put it under the TC, you cannot supervise the TC, and then you won't have the 20% of resources while you supervise, the mill. So this is very, very cool. Be careful about the raid of the night, but we already have this spearman. The spearman is not anymore with the villagers, and 1 kill is happening, but all the villagers are here on the TC. So yeah, the knight took a lot of damage right now. So this knight is out of the game. So lose 1 villagers versus a knight is okay, but we are French, we can heal that knight, and maybe later he will come with full HP, but you have to do the technology that costs 300 resources. This is a lot. So this is not gonna happen very soon, and at the same time we are producing a lot of scouts. What is very interesting with the army composition of Elyona is that you have the spearmen to counter the royal knights, but you can also have the horsemen right now, because you already have a stable, so you can produce a lot of horsemen in order to counter the potential archers that are coming in the game. Why Dicynator will do this, these archers? Well, because they're spearmen, and so he wants to counter that. So you have a very good army composition. Why we don't see that often on AOE 4? Why this is happening only right now? We see more and more composition like that, with spearmen, with horsemen, and not before, because this composition costs a lot of food, and as it costs a lot of food, you have to have a very good income in food to produce that. And some civilizations can do this, especially if you do Pro Scout, and that's what is very interesting here. You can do this army composition because you are making the Pro Scout, and you are having a lot of deers, and so you won't lack of food, because if you lack of food, then you can't produce anything. Well, if you're making, I don't know, Zugonu or maybe archers, then it doesn't cost a lot of food, and it's better if you don't have a lot of food sources, of course. And I feel like with the meta of Pro Scout, Chinese has, I think it's the best civilization right now with this meta. It gives them a lot of stuff, because, well, the Chinese is the civilization where you really need food. You have, when you have the Song Dynasty, you produce faster your villagers, so yeah, this is cool, but you have to pay for more villagers, so this is a lot of food. You also kind of want to always have your spearmen, so this is a lot of food also. And when you lack of food with the Chinese, what is very difficult is that you have your dynasty. When you do your dynasty, it costs a lot of food again. And also, if you have your dynasty, then you can do your granary, but it costs a lot of wood, and it's very difficult to do this transition. And so, how you counter the Chinese? Well, you stop them from going on the map and taking all the the food sources, sorry. And then they are starving, and if they are starving, they are dying because they can't produce a lot of army. And this is quite difficult because they have to do a farm transition, and this is very expensive. But now with the Pro Scout, they don't lack of food. They are insanely strong with this, because the income of food is just insane. Look at that. We have 900 food per minute. This is just absurd. What can you do against the Chinese that has so much food? He has a production of army that is very, very absurd. And I feel like this is the civilization that is the strongest with the Pro Scout. Because because you can produce so much. This is very interesting with the Chinese to have food. You can also do all your imperial officials, of course, and I really like the new stuff with the build order, where you don't do any imperial official from your town centers, but you do all of them with the Imperial Academy. Very good raid here from Dicynator, very good, but it is countered by Elyona, and at the same time Elyona is taking all the deers of his opponent, and as all the deers have been taken, well, Dicynator has the problem of food, and if he has the problem of food as the French, this is kind of the same thing with the Chinese. The French really needs this food, because the knights are very expensive. You kind of want also to do some spearmen, and also you can produce also the villagers faster with the French. So this is a lot of stuff, and the farm transition is very expensive, and this is not a very good food source, while other civilizations have very good farms. The French have the worst ones. So this is very horrible as a French to do a farm transition. So yeah, here the situation is very difficult for Dicynator, and yeah, Elyona is in a very good spot, but be careful about that, because there is more army with Dicynator, and yeah, Elyona went h3. He doesn't have a lot to defend it, but I feel like he has enough, and yeah, oh, this is difficult here. We are losing a lot of knights. This is not a good position, but Elyona is forced to go back. The gold is under attack. Be careful with all the spearmen that are being countered by the archers. But here are the knights. Here are the knights of the Chinese, and there is a lot of them, and the knights will destroy everything. What do you do against those knights? And you can also have the palace guards that are coming in the fight, and if the food is not countered, then Dicynator will lose the fight against the army. He has to take all those villagers down if he wants to do sufficient damage to his opponent, but he cannot go further because the food is protected by the town center. So yeah, this is a very good stuff for Elyona, and Dicynator is losing all his army to put the pressure on his opponent, but this is not working because he's not killing any villagers, he's not adding any villagers, he's only fighting army versus army, and he will lose to that because, well, Elyona can produce a lot, and he has an H3 army versus an H2 army, so this is kind of over for Dicynator because he lost too many army here. He cannot go H3, and this is very, very strong. As I said before, the Chinese are very strong with this Pro Scout technology that is very, very cool. You cannot lack of food, and this is quite insane because you don't have to put your villagers at risk. And yeah, I feel like this is a cool meta, but a little bit too strong for me. I think it's too strong because what can you do against this? Right now, you cannot counter this. You have to do Pro Scouts yourself if you want to counter that, but that's not a counter. You do the same thing. So I feel like there is no counter actually for currently, sorry, for the professional scout, and I feel like it could be. I don't know what they can do about that. Maybe they can do it a little bit more expensive, or maybe the scouts moves slower while they're carrying the deers. It's already the case, but even slower. Maybe it could be cool. But the problem of the Pro Scout is that you are taking all the resources of the map by not risking your villagers, and that's the main issue here, especially with the civilization as Chinese, as I said before. So yeah, here Elyona will take all the relics of the map, all the secret sites. He will have a very good army, of course, because he is H3 and his opponent is H2. While French is very interesting to fight H2, I feel like it's kind of over right now. Why? Because there is not a lot of army with the for the French player. Sorry, and yeah, I feel like you can stay H2 a little bit more with the French, but not that much. And also, if you have a lot of army, more than your opponent. If you don't have more than your opponent, you cannot stay H2. I feel like. But the main reason why you can stay more H2 is the knights, of course, because they are very, very strong. And yeah, this is cool to counter, for example, the other knights of your opponent, sorry, if they are H3, or for the palace guards, of course, the man-at-arms. Okay, and yeah, here there will be a lot of army that cannot be countered. Okay, the spearmen here. Be careful with the knights. The knights are gonna be taken down. Where are we with the relics? We have 2 relics for Elyona. Maybe a 3rd one very soon. No, we have only 2 right now. And yeah, Dicynator says GG. This game is over, as I said before, because of the food. Mainly, and also, sorry for that, and also because, yeah, H3 versus H2 is kind of difficult. And yeah, don't hesitate to subscribe if you like this video. We are not over with this best of 3, because this was the first game, and the first one to victory wins this fight and then goes further in this tournament. Incredible tournament from EGCTV. Don't hesitate to go and watch them again. Thanks EGCTV for this tournament, and we will see each other for the next one.